Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Robin. I am a creative professional trying to cure my own aphantasia. I'm just recording this as I drive because I don't have a lot of alone time to record stuff, so sorry about that. I haven't been on here in a while because I started a TikTok and it's kind of fun. So I've been doing little videos on there asking questions for my own research. And one of the questions I recently asked, actually I haven't asked it yet, is, okay, well I have all these theories about where aphantasia could stem from. I mean, there's so many, like maybe we're just born without the ability to visualize. Maybe there was some sort of trauma in our lives as a young child that made us block out certain things. Maybe it was a protection thing, maybe we had nightmares as kids and this was a way of like protecting us, shutting off the ability to visualize. I don't know. But I asked this week, what, if you have aphantasia, if you've recently learned or you've always known that you've had aphantasia, can you remember your childhood, what your bedtime routine was like? I feel like I had a fairly healthy, fairly healthy like bedtime routine. My mom is big on reading, so we used to always read. I would read books, or my mom would read to my brother and sister and I as a family in her bed, like, and I remember really enjoying listening to the stories. I don't ever remember having visuals, but it's hard to remember if I did, because even like recently I was trying to figure out if I could see my own dreams. The only reason I can really know that I can see it because I can't recall memories, right? Just like a memory, I can't recall and see a memory. I can't do that with a dream. So even though I think I can see my dreams, there's no way of recalling it, so how the hell do I know, right? I don't know, it's weird. Anyways, where was I going with that? Recalling memories. Okay, bedtime routines. So, I'm gonna have to change roads just because it's like super sunny here. I was thinking about bedtime routines and how I can't really remember if I could visualize. I don't think I can. I was trying to think of like, okay, do I remember any like recurrent nightmares as a kid? I remember, and this actually came back to me because I was watching Space Jam with my son. Space Jam 2, the one with LeBron James. Anyways, it was a scene where Wile E. Coyote like goes over a cliff or something, or they're trying to like jump a road, and that was a dream I had as a kid all the time, was like we're on a family trip and we're driving over a bridge and we're trying to jump this bridge, and I don't know if we ever make it or if my dream just ends. But seeing that, the visual of that from Space Jam, like from the like Bugs Bunny characters, I was like, oh, maybe this is why I dreamt this, because I used to watch Bugs Bunny as a kid, and that's like a pretty big scene, is like trying to hop over things or like falling off a cliff. Like, how often do you actually fall off a cliff or see someone fall off a cliff? You never do in real life, but in cartoons, that's a thing. So anyways, that was a tangent about that, but I was thinking about bedtime routines, and I remember in the 5th grade, I bought myself a television from a garage sale. It was just like a tiny little black and white television, and it had like 4 channels on it, but it got basketball, and I was big into the NBA. I loved the Chicago Bulls back then, so I would watch basketball usually or whatever cable show was on at night. And oh, geese, there's 2 geese in front of me on the road. I wish I could turn my camera around. Hello. Anyways, I was thinking, I started doing that at a fairly young age. I was in grade 4 when I bought it, so that became like a nightly thing for me. It was like listening or watching TV. And so, and because I can't remember how my brain functioned before, I really don't believe I ever had the ability to visualize, but if I did, I feel like the time my visualization skills most, and again, I don't know this because I don't think I ever have been able to visualize, the time I would probably use it and hone it and practice it is like at bedtime, right? You would like, I would think that you would sit there or lay there, I guess, and close your eyes or like stare at the ceiling and like think about your day or think about stuff and visualize stuff. I feel like that time of the day, like when you're alone and you're just like sitting there, maybe you've read a story and you're like thinking about the story, I feel like that's the time of day you would probably visualize. So by me adding this like screen and distraction at bedtime, I wasn't like, I started fairly young, not actually like sitting with my own thoughts. So that was just a revelation I had. I thought, well, maybe that's what caused it. Maybe I just lost the ability because I don't practice it. And I'm a huge meditator. I love meditating, but I have 4 kids, 3 little ones, and it's not always easy. But I feel like the more I meditate, the more I have these like, I don't know how to explain them because they're not, it's like I can see some, sorry, one second. It's like an imprint of a thought in my mind. I don't know how to, but I have these like downloads that come into my mind when I'm meditating. They're almost like a visual, and I feel like if I work on it, if I keep doing it, I'll get there, you know? Like I feel like I'm going to get to the place where I'm going to be able to visualize. I don't know. But I feel like it's going to take a lot of like time spent in my own brain and not like being distracted by things. And I think about like all the people that grew up, like I'm an 80s baby, right? So I was born in 84. My 90s were like, I mean, pretty chill. We didn't have like devices to go on. Again, I bought my TV when I was in grade 4, and it was like this little tiny black and white thing with a knob. But I didn't have like a cell phone, or we had computers, and I spent a lot of time on computers because my dad was like a computer guy, but I didn't like have one in my room, or maybe I did. But I feel like in that time period, we were so much less distracted. So I'm wondering, like, are we gonna see if visualizing and like being able to imagine things, if it's a skill that we learn or have and we need to like continue to develop, or I don't know, maybe we just lose the ability to do it if we're too distracted and if we can't sit with our own thoughts. That's just a thought. I don't know. Sorry, I'm distracted because there's construction. Yeah, I wonder about the kids these days that are growing up with devices. Like my kids even, like they're on Roblox all the time. They often go to sleep watching a show or a meditation, and I don't know, I try to, now that I know about this, because I never knew that I had aphantasia, I didn't know that people were able to visualize. I try with my kids to do a lot of visualization activities to try to make them keep that skill in case it is something that you can lose over time. One thing fun I've been doing with my youngest daughter lately, she's 4, at nighttime I'll lay in bed with her and we'll snuggle, and we do this thing where I pretend, this sounds gross, but I pretend to cut her brain open, and then I go into her brain and I steal a memory and put it in my head, and then I'll tell her what I see. And of course I don't see anything, I just like have a random thought of a memory come into my head, and I'll explain it to her, and my daughter's always like blown away that I know these memories, and a lot of them are just like things that we've done together, so they just pop into my head. But sometimes I'll get like something happened at school, she's playing with a friend, and I just like say it, and she's like, what? But it's fun because she does it with me too, and she'll go into my memory and take a memory out and put it in her head, and it's a fun thing to hear her talk about the things that she sees in her own mind. Now knowing that she can actually see those things, that it totally changes the way I parent even. Knowing that my kids have this ability and I don't, so they think differently, and like, I'm rambling now, but the whole point of this video is to ask if you have aphantasia, what your bedtime routine was at a young age. If you can remember, if it was like, if you remember just like laying there, or if you've always kind of had a distraction to get to sleep. Yeah, comment and let me know. I'd love to hear anyone. Let me know. It's interesting, right? Anyways, have a great day.